My shit.
Does he know that?
I'm sure
I
he
think
does.
so.
Yay!
Yes. Woo, woo.
What's up?
How are
Hey.
you?
What's
We're all
up?
just laughing at my shit.
Oh, it came up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says
no.
that, my shit.
Well, it's because whenever people like want to what's like airdrop something or whatever, I just have my phone as my shit. So then people are always like, "Hey, what's your?" Oh, I got it.
My
It's kind of a joke. My bad. I didn't know it'd show up on here.
That's fine.
What's up, you guys?
Yeah,
Good.
no,
How are
We're
you
good.
Very good.
How are
Yeah.
you?
Good. How many people are on here? Wait, hold on. Oh,
Can you
there
see
we
us
go.
all?
Oh, now I can. Yeah, sorry.
of us.
Five of us.
Five.
Of us.
Wow, what's up, everyone?
You,
Hey.
you all right?
Good.
Are you able to go horizontal at all on your phone?
Sure. Does that help you?
Yeah, it'll be good for editing later. Yeah,
Oh,
perfect.
hold on.
Oh,
My shit.
Yeah, maybe not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
That's better.
Okay. Cool.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yay, look at us, right? I have the screen here, which I'm going to use later, the video recording of it. And you're right in the middle between all of us, so perfect.
Cool.
Right, so Sam, do you know who we all are? Do we need to introduce ourselves? You know some of us, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I think I've met everybody now. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, you met us all in London,
You
didn't
must
you?
all down in London. Yeah.
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 What's up?
Well,
Long time
finally
ago
we
now.
got you on here. It's been a while.
I know. I told you I would. I promise.
I know, yeah.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
No worries. Sorry it took so long.
That's
Well,
okay.
We
it's
know you're
worth the
busy.
wait, I'm sure. So,
Exactly.
one thing before we start, just so you know, so this is we're only gonna put this out in January.
Okay.
So, maybe in a couple of weeks or so. And so, we can say Happy New Year to each other.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay.
Time travel.
But yeah, Sam is our host. Teeny Tiny Titchy, she's our host. She's
That's
going to
me,
be the
yeah.
main person. So
Okay. Cool.
take it away, Sam.
Cool. All right. Marty, we're going to introduce you as we're going to introduce you on the podcast. So that's how we'll start now. So then we'll
Okay.
crack on. How long have we got with you, by the way?
How long do you need?
As long as you want.
It's usually about
Like
an
an
hour.
hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
All right.
get to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can make that work. That's fine. Perfect. All right.
Cool.
Well, let's crack on then. Let's get straight into it because then we can start talking. Okay. So today we are joined by an absolute legend. He's a 4-time MTV Video Award nominee for Best Choreography in a Music Video and won the 2007 VMA for Best Choreography in Justin's My Love video. In addition to Justin, his resume boasts choreography for many other superstars, including Mariah Carey, Pink, Janet Jackson, and British boy bands One Direction and JLS. But for listeners of our show, you'll best know him as Justin's exclusive choreographer and artistic director, choreographing performances for his live music videos, television appearances, and live tours, including the most recent, the Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Whilst we introduce him, let's remember he is not the tour manager. Everybody, it is such a pleasure to introduce Mr. Marty Kudelka.
What's up, you guys?
Hey.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Did you have a good one?
Yeah, always trying to have a good New Year. It can only get better. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yes.
literally. 2025 has got so much in store, and we are so excited to have you on for our first show of the new year. What a way to get off with a complete bang. So thank you so much for coming on, because I know we've been trying to get you on for a while. And I think we're just really, really pleased that we didn't scare you off when we met you in London when you were over for Justin's One Night Only.
Which didn't happen. It was one night. It
I
wasn't one night
know.
only.
The no night only.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
luckily,
Absolutely.
we got to meet up a couple different times. I met some of y'all at Graham Norton, I think, and then
Yes.
Yeah.
at Playground.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing the class there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
well,
didn't-
at
you
least we
didn't
didn't
want us
scare
to
you
join.
away.
Yeah, we're still I'm still waiting for the one night only, to be honest.
I know, right? Yeah. But did you see the tour though?
Yeah.
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 Have we
Okay.
seen
Oh God,
it?
so
I
many
could I,
times.
I can promise it's better than the one night only. One night only is special. It's more intimate, but you know, we prefer the big production over there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
saw it a lot. All of us went to lots of them, you know, several of them. So yeah.
Good. I'm sad I wasn't there for any of them, but
Yeah, well, you beat
I know, we missed you.
yeah, I missed you
Tamara
guys.
saw you, didn't you?
I got
yeah,
to see them
Copenhagen.
in Copenhagen.
Oh yeah, there you go. I was there for yeah, but it's not the same as in like the O2, and I have so many memories there.
Yeah, but
Are
you
you
were
gonna
on
be?
stage, so it was pretty special.
Oh yeah,
that's
you
true.
were.
Yeah.
How was that? How did that come
It was
about?
Actually, well, since I stopped dancing in 2007, like on tour, Future Sex was the last tour that I did. So ever since then, on 2020, I ended up becoming the swing. We had one dancer that quit a little bit, like, you know, after the first leg or two into the tour. So I had to like help replace him and fill in for Ivan in a couple of places. So I always like hopped in and out, you know, slowly or whatever. But then once I started getting older, I'm like, no more. And the more I started saying that, then the more people wanted me to dance. So I knew I was coming to Copenhagen to check on the tour, plus Tobias, one of the, you know, our newer choreographers in swing, you know, it's his hometown. So I was, you know, double duty. I was like, oh, let's, you know, go for all that. Just tie it into one trip. And then I talked to Justin maybe like a week ahead of time on the phone. And he said, yo, man, please come just at least dance on Like I Love You or something. And I was like, no, man, I'm done. I'm over it. I don't want to, especially just for one song and get all sweaty and then get back in my regular clothes and then have to work a little. So I said, I was like, no. And the dancers kept asking me, of course. But then finally, once I got there and he kind of, you know, I can't say no to boss man. It's hard. So I said, yeah, but only if we keep it a secret. So we kept it a secret from everyone. Only people who knew was wardrobe and security, so I didn't get killed. And Justin, none of the band, none of the dancers until like 10, you know, we kept it a secret. It's pretty
I
cool.
think you could tell by the dance with like Madison. We've seen a couple of videos of her face.
Oh yeah,
she was shocked.
Yeah. Here's a little a good tidbit that y'all probably don't know. The reason she knew I was on stage, if you watch it back, and now if you go back and watch like the Vanguard Awards, and I think those are the only two times on national television or whatever international television that it was, you could hear it. But every time on Like I Love You, when the beat drops before we start dancing, there's silence there. So I'm trying to get everybody amped. So I say, let's kill this SHIT. It's a favorite word of mine if you don't know by now. And, that's an inside joke for us. But yeah, I yell that, and Justin's mic, you can hear it. So if you go back and watch, you'll hear that very vaguely. And so that's why she like
she's looking around, isn't she?
Looks back like I scared her kind of. So I do it for those moments. But I'm glad you were there. Yeah, that was awesome.
I was front row and I was like, is that Marty on stage?
Yeah, but then didn't you go back to the B stage though?
Yeah, and then we danced.
Yeah, because that's what we did. Yeah, because I didn't know you were in the front row. Otherwise, I would have probably. Were you on my side too?
No, I was on the other side.
Okay. Yeah. Although that would have been real fun.
Yeah,
I like talking to people on stage.
I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah,
it's really good, amazing.
But yeah, that's how all that went down.
That was so cool.
Yeah,
and
sorry,
I was just gonna say, are you gonna be at the LA show in Jan?
As of now in Anaheim, as of now I'm planning on going. It's one of my best buddies. It's his birthday actually on that day, so we bought him a ticket. Pam and I'll probably go.
Oh, cool.
So
I'll see you there.
Oh, nice. Where are you going to be sitting?
Currently I have B stage standing room tickets, and then
perfect.
If I can afford a front row or near the front seat, I'll get that as well. But at the minute, just B stage. So
wow,
I can't wait.
Is that what you, so I'm in, wait, I want to interview you guys too.
Yes.
So Maggie, wait, so you already have a B stage ticket, which I know is not cheap, and you're trying to get front row tickets too. Like you'd prefer to have both?
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah.
We
I
do
think
it on
all of
every
us,
show.
Been
I
running.
think all of us have done most of that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You got to run back and forth. It's
Yeah.
worth it. Yeah.
There's an art to
There is
leaving
an
at the
art.
right time.
I
To
sure
be-
we probably have similar paths because I do the same thing. I watch from certain areas to see certain parts. So we probably have similar patterns
Yeah.
of when to go where.
Yeah.
Like,
You got to.
we're like, how far can we push it to stay at the front? Because we kind of need to go back in time. Because sometimes security can be a bit funny if it's when Justin's moving during play. So you have to leave
Yeah.
quite a few
You've gotta
songs
be
before.
And different
but
venues, security acts different, and they
Yeah.
start roping it
100%.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys have to be really smart.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
what we do
we-
is
we
you have to
are.
let the security guards know, at B stage what you're planning to do, and let the
Yeah.
other security guards at the front know. Say, look, I've got tickets for both. I'm going to be moving here, and then they kind of call. So yeah,
That's amazing.
you got to play the game.
Yeah.
and let the other people who are next to you to let you out because they're thinking, why are you leaving when he's on the stage? Why? But there's a method to the madness, so you've got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh.
amazing. I love that. I'm learning stuff too. Let's
The
Yeah.
crazy
go.
Well-
one to move though, when you have the general admission standing.
Oh,
Like,
that
get
makes it.
out
Yeah,
of
the
there.
European
It's
show
like
make it
crazy.
a lot harder. You
Oh,
did
we
it.
did.
Though.
Yeah.
You did it. Yeah.
I did it 9 times. So
Yeah, and during
Wow.
European shows as well, when we're at the front, then we do fight our way to the back so we can see him when he's on top of Blocky. Because when you're standing at the front, you can't really see much. So we've been fighting our way back to the back as well, so we could,
Have a better
Get-
view.
Yeah.
picture of
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Wait, Sam, before you go on, I have one more question. Who goes back the farthest? Who's been to NSYNC shows back in the day? Anybody?
You too.
Look at my name.
Two.
OG.
mostly
Yeah, you as
Verena.
well, Tamara, yeah. I go back to
Where?
97.
And tomorrow, where?
Rock in Rio.
Rocket Rio. When was that?
2001, January 2001.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
before I even moved to Los Angeles.
Wow.
Oh, no. Sorry. I was already in Los Angeles in 99. That's before I met those guys, though.
Wow.
Wow. That's crazy.
Long
Okay,
time.
cool.
Because they never toured the world, really. They
They never came. They
Yeah.
never toured the UK. They never played a concert here.
I
No.
saw
Wow.
That's
them
why
in
the rest of us
Germany
didn't see
on their
them.
first home tour. When they did their first, before the girl tour in Germany, that's when I first saw them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they had-
Wow, that's so cool though. I
Going
mean,
back.
we're real fans though.
Yeah.
We just need our time. We want to see them. So we've heard
But-
all about the
Yeah.
shows that these guys have been to, but it would be amazing. And especially with watching the Justin shows and then watching them come together for
Yeah,
Paradise. It's like,
hopefully it's still a possibility. Yeah, we
Yeah.
trust me, me too.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say too much, and I know you want me to, but I'll just say this now. And I know it's early on, but I'll just say this much. I literally was just talking to somebody very important who's very close to the project. Hint, hint, hint. A couple weeks ago, and I'm just saying it's definitely, anything is possible in this world.
Yeah.
So, and it's already happened. They already came back together.
Yeah.
I know.
Even when I knew that this was going to be a possibility, and I already knew way before you guys knew, and I would get on Instagram Live and people would ask and I would act dumb and just
Oh, we
it's my
know.
job. I can't blow stuff up.
No.
But even when I for sure knew it was going to happen, I was like telling Pam and my homies and like, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to celebrate until that night after the show is over. I don't care if the show starts. I'm not going to celebrate till I see it happen myself.
Yeah.
And it happened. So that gave me a lot of belief. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I hope so.
We're ready for anything, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like we are ready. We've got holidays. We've got money saved. Well, we're trying.
Yeah.
Well, we spent it all on Justin this year, so
I
we
know.
Resave. Yeah. You got time. Yeah.
I said to the kids, asked me what did I want for Christmas. I went, Justin tickets. They went, we bought you Justin tickets. I went, no, he's back again. He's coming to live
Yeah.
them next year. So I was like, no, we need more.
Yeah. Festival shows now.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, I'll let you go, Sam.
Yeah,
My bad. I
Sam's
didn't
got
mean to
come on.
interview you guys.
Yeah, well, do you know what? All of the things we're talking about are all the things we want to talk to you about because we've kind of
All right,
we
good.
want to start at the very beginning and then we want to talk about you, we want to talk about Justin, we want to talk about the boys, we want to talk about the future. So if that is all right, let's take it right back to the start before we get into all those other topics
Sure.
and get too carried away. Otherwise, we'll never get off the topic.
True.
So we'll come back to it in a bit. But yeah, really, Marty, we just wanted to start by finding out about you and your journey and where it really all started.
Ooh, this could last like 7 hours, so I'll give you a short
We'll do
version.
it.
Yeah. I originally come from Dallas, Texas. I grew up in Texas. I lived there till I was 24. My dance journey, I guess you would say, is I was always into sports, BMX, like bicycles. I was always an active kid. And then when I was about 8 or 9, I saw the movie Breakin'. I don't know if it was big in the UK, probably never came out there. It was called something different. But it was basically like, the You Got Served of the early 2000s, but in 1984. And I saw the movie Breakin'. That got me into dance. My mom, saw me spinning on my head and she was like, stop. So of course, as a kid, you want to do it more. So I would do it more.
Yeah.
And I was always the younger guy in like my crew. I was in a crew when I was like 9 or 10. And I was the young kid just trying to keep up with the older guys, which always pushed my level a little bit, which was nice. But I didn't realize it at the time. And then breaking kind of faded out in the South in Texas, it kind of went away where in the West Coast and the East Coast dance world, it kept going. And even in Europe, it was still going on. But in Texas, it just went away. So I stopped dancing. Then I got to like middle school. I started going to dances. I don't know if you have school dances like proms and those kind of things, but I never really went to those. And one day I think my mom didn't have a sitter or something and she made me go. And I went and I saw all these girls dancing in a circle and I was like, I can dance. I used to break dance and whatever. And what they were doing at the time was very easy. Like it's called New Jack Swing, like the dances that just like repeat and do over and over, And so I was like, I can do that. Like, well, I thought I could. And then for some reason or another, I was just like, oh, I'm going to go dance with these girls. And I go and before you know it, I'm like the star in the middle of all these girls and the guys started crowding around and it was this big thing. And, like you'd see on a movie or something, but it's in this really school in the hood. And like, I'm this little white guy out there dancing and spinning on my back. And then the next day I thought I was going to get beat up or something, because dancing at that time for a guy, especially wasn't really that cool. And then, but all of a sudden, all these tough dudes started asking me like, yo, will you teach me how to dance? And I was like, yeah, but I didn't know how to teach dance. I was just, I was kind of, besides the breaking, I was just copying whatever I was seeing. But I was like kind of scared for my life. So I was like, yeah, I'll teach you how to dance. So I started teaching people how to dance on the low, like all these athletes and, big buff guys. And I started teaching them in my garage, in my living room. And I wouldn't get paid necessarily, except they would give me things like food at school, like a snack or something or whatever. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like, no, I'm getting free stuff just for doing something that I love, like not realizing it would turn into my career. But I always had a little hustle in me and I always had a little, drive in me and I always wanted to be like good at things. Whatever I'm going to focus on, I want to be great at it or try to be at least. And so that kind of gave me an itch of like, well, I wonder if I can do this, make money at it a different way or just do anything like this. But there was no hip hop class at studios at that time. There was only ballet, jazz, tap, maybe like acro or something, maybe lyrical, before lyrical, now it's contemporary, like, there's all the 800,000 genres now. But back then there was no hip hop in studios. So it wasn't until I was like 16 years old where I walked into a studio one day in Garland, Texas, and I basically was like, let me, you know, or can I teach class here? And the lady kind of laughed at me, you know, like, well, what are you going to teach? And I was like, dance, duh. Like, what do you think I'm going to teach? It says Tiffany School of Dance. Like,
Yeah.
come on. So she made me take a class, but she let me teach my class first. That was the deal. If I taught a class, then I could, or if I taught one, then I had to take one. So I took a jazz class. I hated every minute of it. It was the worst. Like, she was talking in French. She's like, you know, and I'm like, what?
What?
Like, we're English. We're in Texas. You know, pirouettes and plie. And I'm like, what is she? I had no idea. So I stopped. So I stopped teaching. I didn't teach again. I didn't do anything until I was like, I don't know, about 18 years old. And I was having all these other normal jobs and there was hip hop in studios now. In those 2 years, like, hip hop started sneaking in studios. So I started noticing this. I met some people at a club, and before you know it, like, the studio owner named Shella Sattler from Dallas Powerhouse of Dance, she helped change my life, because I was working at not a gas station, a car wash that we did sell gas there though, but a car wash selling car washes. And
Yeah.
she drove in one day, and it was raining outside, but I still had to be at work. And she said, would you like to come work for me? You know, I can't offer you a lot of classes right now,
Wow.
but
Oh, wow.
I would love for you to come teach for me a couple of classes, and then maybe we can build. And I was like, yeah, hold on. Walked inside, quit my job,
Bye.
walked
Yeah.
out, didn't even care about the repercussions or anything. I just said, hey man, I think this is a huge opportunity, and I hope you understand, and I'm going to follow my dreams. And that started everything. I met, you know, a guy named Roger Lee, who was a huge mentor for me. And I was around a bunch of people who were way better than me. I thought I was really good, and I was trash. And but again, now I'm the youngest one, trying to be like these older people and trying to get better. So they pushed me. I learned everything on the job. So I wasn't really trained. I learned how to do any technique that I have from doing jobs. Not from taking class. It was doing stuff in Dallas, and I mean embarrassing jobs that I won't tell you about, but a lot of embarrassing jobs, which was all like, now I look back and I'm thankful for those things. Like I'm still embarrassed for some of them, but I was doing the same thing I do now, just on a much smaller level, where people didn't know my work except people in Dallas or in Texas. But I worked really hard. I came out to LA like every year for like 4 years, 5 years in a row for like a week or two in the summers. I would save all my money, and I would normally have, not that this is in, you know, the 90s, so it wasn't that much, save like $1,000 or something. And then I would use that money, get a plane ticket, figure out a place to stay. If I, you know, I knew some people out here, or just rent a hotel. And it was probably a motel, and just train and go to clubs. I got caught sneaking to a club once when I was 20 years old, and I still know the guy. He's the guy, Kerry, who runs Carnival, the Choreographers Carnival, if you're familiar. And he caught me sneaking in, and I was going to clubs so I could see these freestyle dancers who were the best in the world. And thank goodness he let me in, because that was life-changing. And that made me go back home to Texas every year and go, man, I suck. I got to get better. The level out there. And I was trying to tell them, all my friends, all my mentors, even, like, well, you got to come out here. You got to come with me, because you guys are better than me. Like, you guys will soar. But nobody like really had that in them in my crew except for me. So I came out here. I auditioned for Janet Jackson in '97, and I didn't get the job. Long story short, because that's a good story, but I didn't get the job. I thought I was going to get the job, and as a dancer. But at that point also, I knew I wanted to be a choreographer more than a dancer. But that was an opportunity to be a dancer and then possibly move up the ranks.
Yeah.
So I flew out. My sister gave me like $800 to buy a plane ticket like 3 days before, super expensive. That'd be, be like $3,000 or something now. And it took me like 5 years to pay it back, by the way.
Wow.
And yeah, with interest though. I paid her with interest.
Wow.
And I didn't get the job. I was really close. I thought I had the job. And all my homies thought I had the job because of what I was being told. So it was heartbreaking. And Janet and Michael were like really big, you know, influences on my life. So I was like devastated.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to LA in 98. I just like, all I did is focus. Like what I told myself was that wasn't supposed to happen. You weren't supposed to, you didn't want to be a dancer. You want to be a choreographer. So that's use this time and use this like frustration almost. And like, you know, I was really down in the dumps. I was like, F Janet, I don't want to watch her. I don't want to see the new dancers. I don't want to see who got the job. I didn't want to see anything. But that gave me fuel to like create what now is known as my style. Like I looked at what Janet was doing and I looked at what Michael was doing. And I looked at, you know, anybody who had dancers, Aaliyah, you know, and I was like, I can already do that, but what can I do that's special? So I created a style that you see today that is Justin style.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I guess it's called new school style. I don't know. I just call it my choreography, but I use those 2 years.
My shit.
It's my shit. Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know if you could cuss on here. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay. That changes things.
It's a British podcast.
Oh yeah, true. I forget. You guys are so like I'm on the States trying to be all
You've
PC.
seen Graham
You guys
Norton,
are
haven't
wild.
you? You've seen what happens on Graham Norton, so it's fine.
Oh my God. The first time I came over there, I won't get off, I promise. But the first time I came to Europe in general, like I think the first city was Paris, and just the commercials alone. Like people getting run over with cars. And I'm like, what is going on? Like people are naked on regular TV. But yeah.
No filters.
Anyway, so I created my shit, and I, you know, didn't come out for those 2 years or whatever. And then finally I had $1,200 in 99. And I said, I'm going to just give myself 3 months to come out here and try to work. And I came out here. I was super blessed. I think I was also 24 years old. For any aspiring dancers watching this, like, or choreographers, I was way older than most people could move out here or whatever to accomplish the same things. But it worked really fast for me because I feel like I put in the work in Texas, you know, and I was coming back and forth and kind of getting used to how it feels out here. And, you know, it's a different life out here. So I used those 2 years to really, you know, do my thing, moved out here. I started working within like, I don't know, 2 weeks. I had my first dance job. Within like a month, I was like working with Tyrese. I don't know if you know Tyrese, he's an actor now. Yeah. He was a singer, you know, doing his music at the time. And I did a small tour with him, which one of the first places I went was London, which was really cool. Seeing the red phone booth for the first time and the buses.
Iconic.
Yeah. But yeah, I started working really quick. I had to call my studio owner and tell her I'm not coming back. She kind of already knew that. I had my dad drive my car out, and this was June 6th of 99 I moved. And everything happened really quickly. And then ironically, by my 11th month, I was one way or another, because that's a whole nother long story too, was choreographing for Janet, which was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah. It's still very surreal. It still doesn't feel real like it happened, but I was blessed enough to work for her for like a year and a half, did a billion award, you know.
You'd forgiven her then, right? But you'd forgiven her.
I had super forgiven her. I was back to being a super fan. Yeah, that only lasted for like, I don't know, a month or so. Like, I remember her first show, our first performance was on the Oprah Winfrey show for that album, for the Velvet Rope tour. And I didn't watch, I boycotted it. Everybody at the studio was watching it at the studio, and I just sat in the office by myself. I was crying. I was just hurt, but secretly I was taping at my house, in my VCR, and I went home and I didn't watch it that night, but like a month or two later, I for sure watched it, and then I like learned the dance, and I was
Yeah.
over it real
Of
quick.
course.
Like, you know, I couldn't hate on Janet for that long, but it was, yeah, it was. And actually Tina Landon, who was her choreographer at the time, who I feel like never should have not been her choreographer. Like, she's the best for Janet of all times. I've told Tina this, I've told Janet this. I'm happy I myself, you know, and Shawnette and other people got to choreograph for her. Gil is doing her stuff now, but Tina was the best. And but one thing Tina told me was, when I didn't get that job, we were on the phone, and she said, if you should move out to LA today. You didn't get this job now, but you should move out today, and if you ever do, I'll hire you for something else, because you should be in LA. And she kept her promise, and she hired me for something for J-Lo, an award show for
Wow.
J-Lo. Which was really cool. So I got to end up working with Tina, which was really nice, because, you know, she's somebody that helped shape my career too, even though I was mad at her for a little bit.
Did you ever tell her?
Well, we've actually, I did a podcast with her, and I told her the whole story.
Oh.
Yeah, I did some sort of a Janet a podcast, and I told her we're friends now. She's been to a couple of JT concerts. So yeah, but I told her we could laugh about it. And I also told her to her face, like, it was funny. I was going to a choreographer's carnival, and Velvet Rope came on, like, just on TV or whatever, before I left to go to the club. And I watched like 5 minutes of it. I'd seen it a billion times, but I was just like, I saw Tina I said to myself, looking at my TV, I said, we should have never worked for Janet. It should have only been Tina. And then I saw Tina like 2 hours later, and I stopped her, and I was like, hey, I'm telling you the truth. You're going to say no, and be humble, but you're the best. It's like, I feel like that with me and JT.
Yeah.
Like, I am a humble dude, but I also feel like we understand each other. We can finish each other's sentences. We can look at each other, and we don't have to talk. And that's the same way with listening to music, or him learning my choreography, or me watching him freestyle and create choreography based on how he moves. It's just like, it's a winning combo. Yet again, I also bring in other people. It's not just myself anymore, but I bring in other people who I feel like that they're better. Even back in the day, if somebody's better, I'll bring in somebody. You know, but like, overall, I feel like I should be the one picking who those people are, because I know my boy better.
You know what works as well, so
I think so at this point.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I think you've proved yourself.
Hopefully. But yeah, so so leading up to where you want to probably know. So after Janet, I was actually on tour. Well, not on tour. I would hop on and off tour, but we were in LA. Janet was on tour. I had a hotel room somewhere on Sunset, and I get a phone call. Now, I have to tell you this. Now, this is, I was already nervous earlier, and I don't know if maybe I've said this on IG Live, but it's scary to look at all 5 of you and tell you this. I wasn't an NSYNC or boy band fan at all. Do we already know this? Did you know this?
I mean, it doesn't surprise us. It doesn't surprise.
I don't know.
Okay, so but I had heard, I was listening to hip hop, I was listening to R&B, and I thought I was like too cool for them. I was like, I'm not, whatever, you know. And I probably was hating a little because I can't sing. So I was probably hating some too, you know, and I was just like, not anti-boy bands, but I just wasn't into it, even though I was teaching when all that happened with Backstreet, NSYNC, all, you know, in the you know, when Britney blew up, like I was teaching, and I had to teach a lot. So I would have to teach a lot. Like at one point it was like 25 classes a week I averaged. And so y'all would have to like siphon through so much music, and every now and then I would have to teach to something, but it just wasn't my jam. So now that's my little backstory. So now I'm on tour with Janet, and I get a phone call, and it's a guy named Dave Brown. And
Oh,
I said hello, and he said, "Hey, this is Dave Brown, NSYNC's tour manager, and is this Marty Kudelka?" And I was like, "Haha, yeah, right, man." And I hang up on him.
Oh no,
And this happens,
no,
Yeah.
you didn't.
yeah. And so that none of y'all know this story. That's crazy.
No.
Okay,
No.
so this happens like 2 times, and then I hang up on him because I think it's my friend Eddie Morales, who's a dancer on Janet's tour, playing a joke on me. Because why is like that's something we would do, and why is NSYNC? They're not going
Yeah.
to call me. So I hung up on him twice, and then Jaime Mendoza, who's Janet's tour manager, he calls me and like, "Why you keep hanging up on this guy?" And I'm like, "Wait, this is a real guy?" And like,
Oh, real.
and shout out
Okay.
Dave Brown, who's still in the business, and he's still a friend of mine. Thank God.
Wow.
He said, "You need to call him back." I had to scribble down the number. I had to call him back. And at the time, this is 2001, so it's super expensive off a hotel phone. I didn't have a cell phone. So I'm calling him, it's probably $20 phone call for 2 minutes. And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What's going on?" And that's what Jaime said too. He said, I think he's trying to offer you a job. So then I'm like, I don't want to turn down a job, but
Yeah.
in sync. So like, I don't know. And then he said, "Hey, Justin and the guys," that's exactly what he said. "Justin and the guys are trying to meet up with you to have a meeting. They have a new song. It's more like urban, if you will. And so they are interested in seeing, other people's choreography to it." And I was like, "Oh, they know my work?" And they were like, "Yeah." He said that they saw an award show that myself and Shawnette did for Pink, this AMA award show. So I guess they were in the audience, saw that, liked the choreography. So then I reached out to Shawnette, my partner. Well, I said, "Yeah, I'm interested. Let's set up a meeting." My partner, Shawnette, at the time, she wasn't interested in it. She was still on tour with Janet. She wanted to be more of a director. So she was like, you can do it. That's what you want to do. I wanted to choreograph. She wanted to direct more. So I was like, "Really? I don't know. Let me hear the song." So then I heard the song. It was Girlfriend, but and Pharrell
Yeah.
and Chad and the Neptunes
Yeah.
did it. So I was like, "Oh, this is kind of funky." And I had already heard Gone, and I thought Gone was really good. And so I was like, "Okay, I can do some shit to this. I mean, something." But then again, I'm like, I don't even know if these dudes, I'd seen their work and seen award shows, so I know they could dance, but I also knew what my stuff is different from what they were doing. So I was like, I don't know, but I'll give it a shot. And Justin and I were supposed to have a meeting in Toronto. Like I got flown to Toronto. I think it was to a Britney show to meet up with Justin afterwards, but something happened where we never met up. And then I'm like, this isn't going to happen. So I stopped caring. I was like, "Oh, it's never going to happen. Whatever. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing." And then somehow or another they called, and they were just like, "Hey, there's not going to be a meeting, but they just want to hire you."
Wow.
Yeah. And
It's
I was
done.
like,
Done deal.
Like that.
"Okay, cool."
Sign me
So I
up.
like
Times.
did this whole trip to Toronto and was all excited, never even met the dude. Got to see a free show, which was cool. And but nothing happened, and now I'm just getting the job. So they flew me to Orlando, and the first day of rehearsal, Justin was late. So the other 4 guys were there, and we rehearsed at Johnny Wright's compound, which was really cool. And the other 4 guys came in, and they were like, "Justin's flight is delayed. He's coming from somewhere else. And, but you can start with us." Exactly what they say. "You can start with us. He can catch up." And I'm like, "That's not cool. Like, let's wait for him." And they were like, "No, trust us. He's going to be fine." And, some of us are slower, and, he's really quick. He'll be fine. I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So we rehearsed for a couple hours. I taught them like a lot of the routine, but not all of it. And then Justin shows up. So then I meet him, kick them out of the studio. It's just him and I. And that's when the first day that I met this dude is when I knew he was special. Like, they're all special, but I just saw like, oh shit, this dude learned like what they learned in a couple hours in like 20, 25 minutes or something, like, a quarter amount of the time. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, whatever. And we kind of had an instant bond, but but I was really close with Chris, was closer in age to me, where Justin was a little young. We're like 6 years apart, where you know, Chris is a couple years older than me, so I'm like around the same. Yeah, I think so. And so then I'm hanging out with, you know, Chris. It all happened very quick, you know, very quick. But I'm forming these different bonds with different dudes, and I'm like, oh, these are really cool dudes. Like, why was I hating on these dudes? These guys are really cool. Like, they all seem like guys I grew up with, you know, especially Justin being from the South, and Chris is a jokester, and Joey's witty and quick and always making, you know, you got to be on your toes. And I'm like, you know, JC, super talented, you know, quiet on the quiet side, but reminds me of my friend Danny that I grew up with. And I'm like, oh, these dudes are cool, you know. And then I start hearing them sing and, you know, move around, like dancing. They're all different levels, you know, but
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, for them dudes to do all this shit, like they're really talented. Like I didn't give him those props, you know. Then I start wearing in-ear monitors for the first time, and I'm hearing them sing live, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was all like tracked and like, you know, whatever. Because by this point, I'd been in the business for a little bit, and I'm not gonna give away all the secrets, but I had seen things that I thought were real and weren't real, you know. It's Hollywood. So I was like, these guys are the real deal. And then I started watching other, you know, I'm not going to hate because at this point I've worked for all of them, I think. But I started noticing the difference in like, oh, okay, these dudes are good at this and this, but these dudes are good at everything. Like I became a fan. You know, and I never told until way later, by the way. I wasn't fans of you dudes until after I became fans. And I was like, you guys are pretty cool. Like, holy shit.
You're all right.
But yeah, it all happened really quickly, and we were doing, I think the first thing was the video that turned into a special in Bahamas where I helped stage some other stuff, which turned into like the Grammys we did, Girlfriend, I believe. I feel like we did it or they did it somewhere else too. I may be missing somewhere, but maybe not. And then they asked me to co-direct their tour because they had already, before I started working with them, they had already did Space Odyssey tour, which was a Pop Odyssey. Sorry, Pop Odyssey, Pop Odyssey tour, which was a stadium tour, which was wild. Which ironically I went to when we were on tour with Janet in Washington D.C. I remember, and so they asked me to co-direct the tour, which I knew what directing was, but I'd never directed anything. So I'm like, yeah, I'll co-direct the tour. And as soon as we got off that phone call, like this was, I don't know, early 2002, maybe, I'm like, what is, you know, the internet is barely alive. And I'm going, what is directing a tour or co-directing a tour? And I was way over prepared. And and so I co-directed and choreographed that tour for them, which is
how many songs, because obviously a lot of the songs already had choreography to them. Did you adapt those original ones?
So the original ones that I did,
Celebrity for sure.
Celebrity for sure. I'm the worst with titles. As you saw, Space Odyssey. What was it?
The game is over. The two of us.
No. Tell me what the.
Tell me,
baby.
Yeah, I think I did that song. Something. Yeah. See, I can't sing.
See right through you.
This is great.
See right through you.
Maybe it was like 3 or 4 new songs, and then besides Girlfriend, and then I did on Bye 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 because it was a rock version. I remixed Bye 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 and I did different verses on it, and then I changed up the thing to like slower, like a back thing that they did, which was funky, just because the way that it was the arrangement, whatever. So that was the only classic that I touched, because I believe if a classic is a classic, you don't touch it. So that was the
beginning. Did you choreograph the move where JC was bending backwards over Lance's back? It's a really iconic shot.
The little slow motion thing.
Yeah.
That was my number.
Matrix.
It's so iconic that.
They're on the like B stage in the front of house. Yeah, that was mine. I don't know what song that is.
None of us know what song that was.
I think it was Space Cowboy, was it?
I think it was Space Cowboy.
I think
Maybe.
it was.
Yeah.
We'll have to
It's
we'll have
the
to look
Pop
at.
Odyssey tour.
No, it's Celebrity.
No,
Celebrity.
it was Celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trouble
And
we
I
have,
remember,
Marty,
like,
with Celebrity
one of
is
them
that
was in the big, yeah, well,
Mm.
Justin was in the middle, I think, and then JC and somebody else, and they did little
Yeah.
partner, slow-mo.
yeah,
kind of-
that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we've got such like sketchy stuff of it because the Celebrity tour was never released. There was this
I
issue with the
know.
audio. So we're it's the
They
one we're
lost
less
you.
familiar with, but we see that photo all the time. I think, like you say, it happened on both sides of the stage, but we always see the photo of JC over the back of Lance.
Yeah,
And
like a
it's
layout. Yeah.
yeah, it's it's so iconic. By the way, do you know how it just feels like everything you're explaining with the story is like it's so funny how the world works in full circles because that Velvet Rope tour of Janet's that you said with the disappointment of not getting on that, and obviously the boys opened for her during
Mhm.
that tour,
Yeah.
and so that could have been
I totally
your
forgot
first.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that could have been the first time you met them. But how weird the world is that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it wasn't meant to
actually,
be.
yeah, it wasn't meant to be. Wasn't the right
Mm.
time. I love how everything worked out. Trust me.
Yeah.
But I even saw Velvet Rope, and when I saw Velvet Rope live a couple times, because a girl I grew up with, Teresa Espinosa, she was a dancer on tour. She's from Dallas. We came up in the dance scene together, so I was like, my homie's on tour. So I went and saw it a few times, and every time I saw it, it wasn't when NSYNC was there. They weren't on the whole tour.
Mhm.
So ironically, I knew that they had
Oh.
opened for them because,
Mm.
yeah, they knew, like, when I got the NSYNC job, the girl I was dating at the time, Kelly, she was a dancer on the Velvet Rope as well. So she knew all them before I knew them, which is weird. So when I met them, I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. You know my girlfriend, but you don't know me. Like, oh my God, we love Kelly and blah, blah, blah. So it's a small world we live in. Yeah, but it's funny
Yeah.
how things work. Like,
Yeah,
full
it
circle for real.
yeah,
Work
it
for the
really.
better.
Yeah, exactly, and it all works out, and when it's meant to do as well. It's interesting also when you were telling us about when you first went into the studio with the guys, and you had the four of them while you waited for Justin. And we've got a quote here that we wanted to read you, that Lance said. And the quote from Lance is that there are a lot of dances that tested my patience and made me frustrated. One of my favorite choreographers was Marty.
Ah.
He did Girlfriend
Aw.
and the last tour, and he had this different style that we hadn't been doing. It was way more groovy and so much more smooth. It was the hardest for me to pick up, even though it seemed like the simplest. And we were supposed to be perfectly in sync. And so I love we love that's such a nice thing that firstly,
Oh, he's the
his
best. Lance
favorite
is the best.
choreographer.
He's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
he's
so
such a
good.
sweetheart.
He is, isn't he? And it's so nice to hear you saying earlier about all the different parts of the guys and what they're all like. Did you notice, I guess, their dancing style? Were you having to you came in with a routine? Were you having to teach them in slightly different ways or adapt to make sure that they all kind of fit into the style and were in sync, as Lance said, but equally
Yeah,
match
yeah.
their
I mean, I
level?
think not just with them, but it's especially when you have a group, you know, that has different levels. Like I've never
Yeah.
like I was blessed enough to work with the Jacksons, like,
Wow.
and they're the
Yeah.
ultimate boy band of all time.
Mhm.
And like, same thing, it'll never fail. There'll never be five amazing dancers or five amazing singers or five. It's a mixture. That's what makes a group. You need all different harmonies. You know, whatever. But so I knew. Thank goodness I'm also a student. Like I think if there's something that I want to do or love, like choreography, and it's my job and I'm getting paid to do it, I want to be the best that I can. So I went, luckily there was so much footage of those guys before I did Girlfriend to go and watch. And it was harder than it is nowadays, you know, like I had to find people with VCR tapes from the VMAs in 97 or 8 or I'm like, who has this? And
Verena,
you know, and
Verena would
Yeah,
have had
Verena
everything.
probably would.
but, you know, yeah, I'm sure.
But I have
And
everything.
I love it. Yeah, I want to add. There's probably some stuff you have that I want to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got to study them, and obviously I knew like Justin and JC and Joey are probably the three strongest dancers, and Lance and Chris are not the strongest dancers. But that's my job to find a happy medium.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like what's a happy medium and but also want them to look cool, And I think so that's not hard for me to do. I think my style, like what Lance says, is people see my style, and some people, especially if they're not a dancer, go, "Oh, I can do that." Like until you try it. Like if you see a really great dancer do it, then it looks easy. You see me, like myself, maybe when I was younger do it, then I can make it look easy. But not, but to somebody who doesn't dance every day, all day, then it's very deceiving. So I think even if you think about Girlfriend on the bridge, like I still remember the choreography, and I'm dancing to lyric, then to percussion, to half of a harmony. Like it's not easy just because I hear it doesn't mean they're all going to hear it. Even if they made the song, they're not going to hear it like I hear it. Where somebody like Justin might a little bit because his ear is crazy, or JC a little bit, or but it's still, they have what they hear when they're making the song, which is way different than just me hearing it and creating something. So that's the hardest part, I think, for people. Even with Janet's an amazing dancer, but when I worked for her, I made up the hardest. Shawnette and I, our goal, we were like, this is Janet, this is our first big break. We have to make it the hardest shit on earth. And if you look back at it, it is the hardest shit on earth.
Yeah, the choreography, it's insane. Yeah.
It's insane. But that was, to me, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't have done that. Like, to me, I made a mistake. Even though she was good enough, like she was equipped enough to do it. But even just for the dancers on tour, they would die. Like to do just all of one number, they couldn't do it. Yeah, like if All For You is at the end of the concert, like you can only do All For You full out once, like a day. That's it. So they, by the time the concert's over and they get to All For You, they don't get to do it justice. It looks like they're marking it the whole time, because they are marking it the whole time because they're dying. So I made a mistake by just like, let's give try to make this stuff as hard as possible, back in the days, luckily, before I started working with those guys. So, but that's my job. I love that part.
But and don't forget, we're talking about making things difficult. For both the music video and the Grammys performance, you had them dancing on top of cars.
Yeah, that wasn't my idea.
Whose idea was this then, if not yours?
That was the director of the video. Oh, I forget who did that video too. Did any of you guys know?
Not
Can
Wayne
you pull that
Isham.
up?
No, it wasn't Wayne Isham.
I don't think
I don't
so.
think he did that
No,
one.
it wasn't
No.
Wayne. No.
No.
I forget who it was. It's somebody.
Someone Google it. I haven't got my phone to hand.
I don't know. It was like a one-off. I don't think it was somebody that we or they had worked with before. But yeah, whoever directed it, it was their idea for the cars. So I didn't know that they were going to have to dance on cars, to be honest.
Oh,
but
my God.
I knew that
Mark
they were fun once we got
Klassfeld.
there.
Klassfeld, yeah, Mark Klassfeld.
Oh, Mark Klassfeld. Oh, I do know Mark. I have worked with Mark a couple other times. My bad. Mark, that's old school.
So
Well,
when you
those
done,
cars didn't look very stable, though, did they? They're like vintage and old.
Yeah,
they looked a bit scared.
They were better on the video than on the Grammys.
Yeah.
The Grammys was a little sketchy. Yeah. And the
Did you
Grammys, they
know-
didn't shoot it as well as they should. They made a couple errors.
Did you know the concept of the video when you done the choreography?
No. Otherwise I would have thought about that too. Yeah, I had no clue, because we did the Bahamas special. I think we might have done, I don't know my timeline script, but I think I made it up for the Bahamas special first, and then we shot the video afterwards. So the video was already like pre-existing type of thing. I think it was the Bahamas special first, actually.
Yeah,
that would have made it more tricky.
Yeah, to change the whole thing. Like, oh, we can do it on this. And then I think we picked the bridge because it wasn't, it was kind of this little thing over and over. Like it was more stable than like the hook. Like that would have been harder to do on the car. So I think we may have, I don't remember, to be honest. I don't want to fib, but I think that we probably talked with Mark and like probably suggested like, hey, can we do the bridge on this? Because the only stable thing.
Yeah.
Did you do Up Against the Wall?
Up against the wall. No.
The one that they
Nope.
throw them with, they stick
Velcro.
With the
Oh, the
Velcro.
Velcro. No. On
Yeah.
Pop Odyssey, I saw that. Yeah, no, that was pre-me. That was Wade.
Hilarious.
You're not taking credit for that one.
I'm not taking credit for that. I'm not taking credit for the bouncy balls, whatever that
Oh,
crap was.
yeah.
Or
The
the
space.
mechanical bull.
The mechanical bull is kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of epic.
Yeah.
But the balls, like even when I saw it back then, and I know Wade, and I was like, what in the hell was Wade thinking?
Yeah.
That was that.
We were all
Yeah,
thinking
but
that.
I think a
they're
lot of
all
the
big
ideas
kids.
came from the guys. No, I think the Velcro thing wasn't that Joey's
Yeah.
idea
I
or
I think it might have been
someone?
Probably.
Joey.
Yeah, I
That
think they were
makes
just
That
like.
makes sense.
It
Yeah.
sounds like
Yeah.
Joey.
I
But
feel
even
like they
that's funny.
had
Like
free
that's kind
reign.
of funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had
I
free
loved
reign
it.
on those shows and just like, what do you guys want? They've talked about it in the past, haven't they? And they're like, we just want like the craziest ideas, and they just went with it. It made it fun at the
Yeah.
time, didn't it?
Yeah, the
Oh
thing
my
is,
God.
was it whatever Johnny would allow them to have
Yeah, it was Johnny.
in the budget?
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah, I know that
What?
tour
Does
made
that
a lot
mean-
of money, I'm sure, but I'm sure
It
I
did.
think they spent a lot of money.
Yes.
Looking
Game
back, like,
rooms and stuff like.
oh, the
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
rooms used to be crazy.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
they still had that on Celebrity, which was wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
exactly.
nobody does that anymore, by the way.
No.
People, yeah,
Spoiled.
those
Too
were
tired.
the wild days. Yeah.
Well, maybe when they maybe when they come back and tour as the Dreamers, it'll be for their kids instead, and we'll still have a games room.
Oh yeah, it'd be
But it won't be them
a
using
kids'
it.
room. Yeah, like with a
Yeah.
big ball pit and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so
God.
what we're saying then is when that happens, we're not going to see any big bouncy balls then as part of the staging.
You will
If you-
hopefully never see a project that I'm a part of that has those big blue bouncy balls.
Good. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
I
Yeah.
think the
What
boys will
would
be
you
happy with
put?
that. They haven't got the stamina, I don't think, to carry on doing
They-
that.
Now that I know them, they're probably like just that if they're just on that, it gives their legs a rest. They probably just wanted a break.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it
Pretty
was.
genius. Yeah.
We're okay.
that I
Lots
think
of
about it.
stools. They can sit on stools, it's fine for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
we'll take it. We'll take anything, to be honest. So Marty, what was your favorite song to choreograph for them then? Was it Girlfriend or was it one of the others?
No.
Oh, we stumped you.
Stumped him now.
No, I think Celebrity is my
Yeah.
favorite.
I was hoping you
yes.
said that.
Celebrity, the mic stand routine. That was pretty fresh. I even
Yeah.
taught that in class at one
Oh.
point. Yeah, minus the mic stands.
Man.
There's a video
Um,
on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Is there?
I think
It
I
might-
saw it. I'm pretty sure I saw it.
Yeah. I know if it is, it's missing like the first like couple accounts,
Yeah,
but
it's,
then it has the rest of it on there.
Mhm. I love that.
Yeah.
Love.
Oh, Celebrity was dope. They used to like roast Celebrity. Like I remember sitting in the audience and like, here it goes. Like, yeah, they would get amped for it. Yeah.
It's my favorite album as well.
Yeah, mine
Oh
too.
yeah, that's a good one.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So before we want to talk about Justin a bit as well, but before we do move on to Justin, we'll probably slightly out of sync chronologically wise, but while we're talking about the boys, we need to obviously mention we started at the start of the show talking about the Wilton, and the fact that you knew obviously it was coming way before we did, and I guess we just want to know more about what that was like, because we've seen the backstage footage, and were you having to try and corral these 5 guys back in together and calm them down and get them to focus?
What do you think?
Yeah.
I said it was a bunch of 5-year-olds in a room.
Yeah.
It was like nothing changed. No, I mean, they're just older, but the same energy and the same. It was, a lot of us. What was cool is to watch all the behind the scenes people like me, Johnny, Joe Mulvihill was there, Carrie Sellers was there,
Mhm.
Johanna from Wardrobe. People, day one, security people. It was cool to see all of us looking at each other like, this is
Wow.
really happening. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I know I mentioned it earlier. I just kept telling myself it's not going to happen until I'm not going to celebrate until it's happened,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I knew ahead of time. I knew I was excited. I knew, you know, I even brought some of my best friends who are younger than me. Like some of my best friends are like 5, 6 years younger than me, and they all, or not they all, a few of them were diehard NSYNC fans, diehard. And
Wow.
yeah, so now that, you know, 20 years later, we all, you know, I've become friends with these guys. I know their stories. One of them was in an NSYNC, you know, cover band in Florida and stuff. And so I brought them to the show even, you know, and like
Wow.
watching their reaction, they're grown men crying, watching grown men perform. And, you know, so the whole experience was just very, very, very surreal. But it was like trying to corral my girl Pam. She assisted me on it,
I was
so
gonna
Yeah,
say that.
that's right.
it was up to Pam and I to corral these people. And yeah, because that's another thing. Like Pam has assisted me on a couple things with JT and obviously that. But normally I might have a different assistant on there, but I was worried about it, trusting somebody of it not getting out, you know,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
it's a
Yeah.
very big, like, you know, once the Wiltern's happening and people, you know, are some of the diehard day ones are outside, you know, waiting, and they see you know, they see the other members entering and, you know, whatever, then they're putting it together. Everybody knows at that point. But until those days, you know, I think it's the day before it
Mhm.
happens, then we're, you know, on super secretive, can't tell anyone. And so I have to think about who I trust to have around, you know, even going back to like the Video Vanguard Awards in
Yeah.
2013, like
Yes.
That was a
they
very
had,
badly kept secret. Everyone, I think
Everybody knew.
people knew it.
really?
We
Yeah.
knew it both. We knew it
But
all.
how, okay, wait, how did you know?
I don't even remember. It's just a talk online, isn't it?
But
I
see, that's
remember.
but there's talk online is not always the truth. You got to know by
No,
now,
no.
because
Yeah.
Yeah.
because the reason I was just like, really, because we didn't even tell MTV. Like we had all these discussions, like mega calls. This is before
Yeah.
we were doing Zooms and stuff, so it all used to be just all phone calls. And like we kept it such a secret that not MTV didn't know. And the day before at camera blocking, this may be the first time I've even blown this up, but at camera blocking, instead of their medley being in there, it was Push Your Love was in there.
Mm.
And myself and three other dancers acted like we were doing Push Your Love with Justin
Yeah.
on that box or whatever, on that B
Yeah.
stage. So not even MTV knew until the day of. So
Mhm.
that's why, and we rehearsed. Do you know where we rehearsed at?
No.
No, we've seen the
Oh,
footage. We've seen because the footage is on YouTube of the rehearsals. We've seen that.
it's
I
my
don't know where
footage.
it is. Where is it?
In
Ah,
Miami.
Yeah,
Show
so
was
it's
Ah,
in
in Florida.
Brooklyn, but none of y'all knew it was in Miami,
Ah.
Florida. And so we went way down. So nobody knew, and they stayed in 5 different hotels.
Yeah.
And
I think they were just spotted in different locations,
Yeah.
and people would just
I mean, how
right.
long-
I've
Yeah.
spotted such and such a one, and then it would just. But I think there was only Chris that wasn't spotted, was he?
Yeah. I think like someone bumped into was it Chris on a flight, or like they were on
Maybe.
I forgot, it was on a flight to LA at the same time that like, and there's like what member's been spotted, and if they're all spotted in LA, then
No,
Yeah.
this
obviously
guy's what you're talking about is not the
Yeah.
last year's VMAs. We're
No,
talking
that's-
about the Vanguard
Talking
Awards.
about
Chris
the
said,
no,
Vanguard
sorry,
Award,
no, so
Yeah.
I was talking about LA. I wasn't
Yeah.
talking about Vanguard. I
No,
just
no,
mean
no.
that's how we
okay,
knew
okay,
about
yeah.
LA. But I
Oh
think the amount of things
that
that everyone
LA for
knew.
sure. That
Yeah.
especially nowadays, it's harder to keep
Exactly.
stuff
Yeah,
private. And
At the Wilton, I flew over because I knew they were going to be on. So
Yeah.
that for sure. I mean, but it's crazy what goes into something like that. Like
yeah,
It's
with the Vanguard, we didn't even tell the dancers. We would rehearse the guys separately. They'd all have to come 20 minutes apart, which was a
Yeah.
hassle. And then they all get there, then we rehearse, get them out, and then have like an hour buffer for us to eat and then the dancers to come so they didn't overlap. Like,
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
it looks there was an MTV, I think, behind the scenes bit afterwards, and it showed you, and I think they said that they were referring to them as the string quartet because of the four of them and no strings attached, and that's how they
Yeah.
had this code name. So when they arrived backstage, they were ushered in this door that still, like you say, the crew didn't even know who it was. It was such a need to know basis.
Yeah, not even the director. And the director's a friend of ours, and he's the best. He does everything. Hamish, and he
Even
had
though.
we did not until the day of. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We love those surprises. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Yes. Give us
Ah,
more.
Well, I think we
Trust
prefer
me.
it when it's not surprises, so we can plan for it.
well,
Yeah.
You can be there.
Yeah,
Of course.
and with the time difference, we've stayed up quite a lot and then not had them show up for things.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure.
So we don't mind when they appear, but when we're staying up till like 4 a.m. and then they don't show.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
there's
that's
always
not
gossip
fun.
that the guys might show up here or might show up there, and of course we're staying up all night to follow things, and then it doesn't happen. So-
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So Marty, if you
Yeah.
could just let us know beforehand, like, yeah, it's worth staying up or it's not worth staying up, that would be quite
Yeah.
helpful.
I will try my
Do a
best.
cheeky wink on your live.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
it.
I
Blink
always try
twice.
to be. I always try to be somewhat,
What the best. I'm learning to decode things now. I'm like,
Yeah. If you get to know me long enough, you'll
Yeah.
you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right, listen, let's just talk about Justin for a little bit as well, because
Sure.
obviously you work with the
hey,
guys
before we
together.
start, Justin, sorry. Can we just ask about the NSYNC project?
Oh yeah.
I just want
Yes.
to hear from you because obviously that didn't happen. Just want to hear from you. How was your experience with it? Whatever you can talk.
Yeah. It didn't, I mean, it happened. We shot a video with the NSYNC crew. It was an incredible experience for everyone involved.
Okay.
I think there was some creative differences, we'll say, of why it didn't come out. But it should have. Like, the finished product is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm sad for them that it didn't come out, but let's see.
It was fun to do. It was really, you thought it was like a good idea and it was really fun.
Well, I honestly, I'm an honest dude. So when I heard about it, I said, they came to me and said, we're doing a NSYNC video. And I said, incredible. And then they said, but the writer's strike is happening. And I said, what does that mean? And they're like, yeah, it's like there's a strike going on, so you can shoot certain stuff, but we have to come up with a creative way. And so I'm like, okay, then you use dancers, like, and I already have it cast in my mind who it's going to be, and they can be in sync, and the song is incredible, and they can roast it, and it's going to be the best promo ever. Like, and that was one of my ideas. And, you know, I had an idea about puppets, you know, because the no strings attached things, and none of my ideas worked. And whoever's, I forget whose idea it was, but whoever's idea it was to have super fans do it. And to be honest, I was like, this scares the shit out of me. Because
I'm not surprised.
how we talked about earlier about
You've seen us
different
dance.
levels. Well, it's the same. It's the same thing. You think about NSYNC, this professional group who are professional entertainers, singers, dancers, you know, and there's different levels. And then you think of somebody who doesn't, who likes the group, which is great, but who maybe doesn't possess any of those talents. You know, maybe, you know, like, you may know the song and you may be able to lip sync it, but in front of cameras, with choreography, with hair and makeup, like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I know what goes into this. Yeah, like, this is not easy. Like, so yeah, so I'm like, I don't understand how this is gonna be. And then there was actually a documentary, everything filmed about the whole thing, which I'm sad didn't come out too.
They released the first part, the first two.
Yeah.
Part one.
But they, like, that, which was a really cool experience for them too, but it's extra drama. Like, even for me, like, I was kind of fighting with my agent every day, like, hey, they're micing me up all day. Like I'm going to the bathroom and they won't let me take it off. And like I'm arguing about stupid because I'm like, this isn't what I do. I want to do my job, but okay, cool. Let's get it done. And you know, they all 5 had different personalities and different star qualities. I became friends with all of them. I still talk to a few of them now. But it was like very overwhelming for them. But like they shot, when I tell you, like an NSYNC video, like I have footage that I can't put out that I have, that if you remember in real life, when I see you guys, I could show you. If you remember, I'll show you some behind the scenes stuff, because it's really cool. Like they had a set that looked like off the Bye 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 video they recreated. One of the video sets, like to a T. And you know, they're all freaking out about it. We're freaking out about it. AJ and Maya assisted me on it, you know, so I had like a dream team of people who worked with Justin in the past. And yeah, it was the coolest thing to not have ever happened, is the easiest way to say it. Like, you know, but there's I'll say this, there's politics in this game, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and you know, you have to do a lot of research on people sometimes before you can trust somebody, especially if you're maybe going to put those people as your product, you know?
Yeah, that's what we all kind of mixed feelings of. It's a big thing taking NSYNC's place in the song that they came back with. So yeah.
That shit is banging. That song is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool though. That's cool.
Yeah, good question.
It's a good question. And so that then does lead us back into Justin though, and obviously going from the boys and then Justin working on his solo material, I guess you just developed a chemistry and it's flown from then.
Yeah, so we on the celebrity tour, I would only go back and forth on tour. Same kind of thing that I do now. So I would just remember that every time I would go out, and sometimes I wouldn't even tell them I was going. They wouldn't see me until they would get out onto the like furthest part of the stage in the middle of the audience, and I would always stand at the soundboard. And then they would see me, and then they would turn it on a little bit more. But I remember always seeing Justin get better. And you know, they all got better because they were, you know, in the show, and it becomes, you know, like second nature. But I would notice like even the way he would go up the stairs was different, you know, little bitty things. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, but I never thought he was going to be a solo artist. Like despite what you've read or think or know, whenever I was around a lot, they never talked about him going solo. Nothing, like within each other. So I never thought that, like, and I wasn't paying attention to anybody else saying that. So once the tour was done, I just went about my normal business. It was choreographing for other people. And then he called me one day and was like, hey man, I'm thinking about doing some music, you know, on my own. And, you know, I don't know. I think I'm going to do the whole thing like on my own and not even tell anybody, and just see how it goes, you know, because maybe he's thinking it might not work. So he, you know, did his, I'm sure you know now, like his whole Justified album without a lot of people knowing. But I knew, and he trusted me, and he said, you know, I'm going to make this album. And, you know, he basically said like, do you want to rock with me? You know? And I was like, yeah, man, like, because I'm thinking about him getting better, and like, he's already a great dancer, you know, good looking kid, nice kid. Like, you know, but we weren't buddies yet. We were friends, but we weren't buddies yet. And he, when I said yes, I was like, hell yeah. I think I said, hell yeah. Like, let's go. And then I said, but we gotta like, he hadn't done my stuff yet, really. Like my stuff in NSYNC wasn't my stuff. So I was like, you know, is he gonna be able to do it? Because, you know, the stuff I was teaching in class, like that's what I wanted him to do. So we started hooking up at the old Millennium on Lancashire, and I would teach him. I have this footage, by the way. I think some of it I have on my Instagram, but it's like a deep dive. But like the first day we ever went into the studio, and I'm teaching him the stuff that isn't his music because his music hadn't been created yet. And which was kind of interesting too, to think about another artist dancing to another artist's music, but he didn't care. And I tried to make it as hard as possible. And it is as hard as possible if you go look. And he killed it. Like, he looks like me, if not better, doing it next to me. And I'm like, who is this guy on day one?
Wow.
So I'm like, this dude is special. And I swear on everything. I went home and I told my girl, Kelly, and my roommate, Jason, I said, yo, this JT kid is going to be he's going to be the one. Like, he's the next guy. And they both laughed at me. My girlfriend and like a friend, I thought.
I mean, they don't see what you see, though, right?
No, they did pretty soon after, like, but they were like the NSYNC, the boy band kid, and I was like, yeah. And then I was like, no, you don't trust me then? Like, trust me, like, I'm telling you, I just left rehearsal. Yeah, but you know, he hadn't had music or anything either. So then he goes and does his album. He's calling me, by the way, like the day after, or Like I Love You hadn't even been recorded yet. They had just started recording it. Plays me Like I Love You over the phone. You know, it's Pharrell playing live on the drums too. It wasn't recorded yet. And Justin singing it, and he called it out. He said, this is gonna be my first single. And I was like, how do you know that? This is the first song y'all are doing. And he said, trust me, this is gonna be it.
Yeah.
And he was right, but I didn't believe him. But I was still like, through the phone, I could hear like, oh shit, this is a dope song. Like, okay, cool. But I don't, you know, I don't know. He spent a month or so out there. Then he comes back, and then we were able to dance to his stuff. And then it was like, you know, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. I'm a huge Pharrell fan. At that point, I'm a huge JT fan. And, you know, some of that stuff was written for Michael, with Michael in mind. You know, JT's one of the only people who can pull it off. JT and Pharrell caught fire, as we see now. You know, it was like the perfect storm. And I made Like I Love You up looking into a dusty TV as my mirror in like 15 minutes, like so fast, because it was the perfect storm. I didn't even really need to see myself. It was just like how it felt. And as they can say, like, the rest is history. Like, I mean,
yeah, it really is.
But I will say this, I've never worked with an artist who trains as hard as he did, because not only did we go to the studios, but we would go to clubs, and in LA, which is crazy because at that time in the early 2000s, we would go to clubs to like battle each other and dance and show off. And like, we didn't go to impress girls and drink.
Yeah.
We went to dance and like sharpen our iron, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I would literally call, you know, Super Dave and Fly Styles and Punch and Goof and all these, you know, people. If you have a dance name, that means you're really good.
I was going to ask you that, if you had dance names.
You have to be good. And so I'm calling all these guys, and they're showing up to the clubs, and I'm telling them like, yo, take it, like, don't take it easy on my boy. Like, give it to him, because that's going to make him better.
Yeah.
And JT, like, Chris Brown is the only one now who would be the equivalent of doing this, right? And Chris Brown's on a whole another level. Like, when it comes to dancing, like, that kid is crazy. But JT was in the cypher, as we call it, in the circle with all these best of the best, you know, funny name sounding dudes and women. And he's handling himself, like, he's holding his own. And we did this a lot, and artists don't do that. Like, it's wild. So which made me work, like, you know, same thing with a musical director, with Adam Blackstone, or musical producers. He pushes those people, whether they're the best or not, he's going to push them. And that's why you see he's had the longevity, because like, he doesn't stop working, you know. It's pretty, you know, the older we get, we do it smarter, not harder, but he still doesn't stop, like, you know. So it's been an incredible ride.
It hasn't. And how would you say, Marty, that Yeah, it's been over 2 decades now. Let's make ourselves feel really old. But it's
I know.
been over 20 years. Has his style developed? Have you developed and changed the way that you set routines for him based over those 20 years?
Yes and no. Because the thing is like when I made his stuff up, like
Mm,
I literally, if I can show you moves from like I Love You or Love Stone, like that I make up because I see him do,
mm,
right? So if I see him do something naturally when he's freestyling, then I'll take that and put it in choreography. So it's his moves and my moves put together, and like we move the same naturally anyways, kind of. So what I know feels good on my body is going to feel good on his body. So it's like a math problem, kind of.
Hmm.
But I don't want to change like every project, like, you know, the classics. We don't change them that much. We
mhm.
change the way that the sauce on it, we say, because of the arrangement of the song and the way the band plays it, the musicians play it. But we really, the bulk of the choreography stays the same
Mm.
because it's like, I don't know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If you want to
Exactly.
see, it's like a thriller, a bye, 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 like I Love You, like you know, same thing when people see Chris Brown and see Wall to Wall. They want to see, I want to see the footwork in Wall to Wall, you know, like, but I will say his style he's added different styles over the years because I bring in different people. You know, Poppin' Pete has taught him poppin' stuff, B-Boy Crumbs. And over the years, I've had many different people choreograph, from Roger Lee to Super Dave to nowadays Tobias, Max Pham, Misha Gabriel, Nick Bass. I've had other people step in, and it's normally if I feel they can do a better job at it, or if the song doesn't, the song just says something. Like when I heard "Sexy Ladies" for the first time, I was like, "Oh, Poppin' Pete should do something to this. Like,
Mhm.
this is his song. Like this is." And Poppin' Pete's the OG legend, so he should do this Poppin' song, whatever. But I also was like, I know that I'm going to hear it maybe better than even Poppin' Pete would. So we choreographed it together, but he did all the like 90% of the moves, and I did like a lot of the musicality. Take his moves and like, Pete, instead of doing it on get, why don't we do it on get, you know, and like, oh shit, okay, and like directed freestyle or directed choreography, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I believe that he should always add on. Like if you watch Favorite Drug, what he does with Tobias's choreography, it is so much
Yeah.
shit in that choreography. And I even told
So
him,
good.
don't learn it all, don't do it all. Like let's
Yeah.
pick and choose place. But he refuses. He's like, he'll learn everything of everything, and then we'll omit stuff later. Like he'll tell me, well, I'm singing in falsetto here, so it's hard to hit that note and do this. So I'll step out here. Like, when's a good place to come back? Or vice versa. I mean, there's nobody, Justin's the GOAT. So he knows, and but he's still going back to, he wants to learn everything. So yeah, his style has stayed the same, but he's added different styles to his repertoire.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, which makes sense, right? Like you say, because that's how you develop and you grow and your
Yeah.
creativity changes. What
Okay.
would you say, Marty, is your favorite performance of all time that you've done for Justin?
Hmm. The Vanguard Awards is pretty cool.
Graham
Yeah.
Norton.
Like, yeah.
Oh, Graham
What'd
Norton
you
was
say?
cool.
Graham
Oh,
Norton.
Graham Norton was dope. But that's different. See, that's what I
That's
mean. It's too
different. Yeah.
vague. Yeah. Favorite award show performance?
Mhm.
Probably the Vanguard Awards.
Oh, My
Uh,
Why?
Love.
oh, that's good too, though. The
My
My
Love
Love.
VMAs. Was it
Yeah,
VMAs? Where you danced
yeah,
as well, didn't you? And
yeah. In '06 or '07,
oh, that
or
was so
'06, I
good.
think. That was good too. But even the first VMAs, the Like I Love You VMAs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Iconic.
do you guys know on the Vanguard Awards there's a mess up?
Yeah, with the
No,
set.
do I?
The light goes off.
Oh,
Like
no.
No.
yeah, at the end, it's right, it's right before Cry Me a River. It was supposed to be a dance solo, and it was only supposed to be one overhead light, and that light burst at that time.
Oh,
So he's in darkness for a couple of seconds, and when he comes back, if you rewatch it, when he comes back, he is still like he's freestyling. He didn't do the choreography. There was a whole dance break in there that never got showed. Like I think it was at the end of My Love. And but it's never
we'll have to watch it.
Yeah, we'll have to rewatch it.
But I feel like that other than that it's good that y'all didn't know. That's good.
Yeah.
But the fact that NSYNC came back, I mean, that just for that alone, like that was like crazy. And I was sitting in the audience ready to go back on stage when that happened, and I was sitting literally next to One Direction, who I had already worked with.
Yeah.
So I literally sat on purpose next to them, like, what's up, guys? I was talking to them because I had like 5 minutes before I had to go back on or whatever. And they were like, this is so cool, man. And looking at them and like, oh my God. And I even remember they're singing live. And I was like, yeah, man.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Listen to them.
Yeah.
Every time they come together, it's magic, isn't it?
It is. It is. One of the performances I wanted to mention in particular was the 52nd Super Bowl 2018. And you were on stage there as well, right? If I recall. Yeah.
A little bit.
And how does a performance like that work? Because there was like so many different stages. There was all of these extras that you had, and it was crucial that they moved at the right time so Justin can come through. You had the marching band, you had the piano. How on earth do you even start to plan something like that?
Like 6-7 months ahead of time. Yeah, it's it's a huge team though. Like just on my choreography team for the Super Bowl, I had AJ and Hamza. They helped. And then like a slew of dancers we ended up hiring. Some were the tour dancers because also we were doing tour rehearsals at the same time, which is a whole nother thing. But when you start planning months and months ahead of time, it's a lot of in-person meeting, going to the stadium in Minneapolis just to see the layout and then start having ideas. And like Justin didn't even go to those. Those are just all the department heads, the directors, production people, and then, lighting people, if there's going to be pyro stuff, any gags of flying or anything, the set designer people. So we started months and months ahead of time. I'm pretty sure also there might have even been talks of a reunion at that point too, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Yeah. But I think it was short. I think it was short-lived though, because I don't remember it that well, but I do remember a flight where it was mentioned and I was like, no way. And then it was it went away.
It was no.
Don't do this to me.
That would have been so hard to keep a secret though.
Yeah.
With all the extras and everything, it'd be like, no.
But yeah, those extras in particular, I forget what they're called, but there's a separate choreographer who's been doing the Super Bowl for like 20 years straight. She's on a run. And so myself and my team would be in contact with them. So we would want them to do certain steps, at least the right way that we're going when there's choreography going on, or to be still at other times. So like, I remember we taught them certain things on suit and tie. So we would like do it in rehearsal, film it to them. Then their choreographer would learn it, teach it to them, so on and so forth. But then there was a day that like Justin and myself and Hamza flew to Minneapolis like a week before the Super Bowl, I think it was, like way early, and met with all those people because it was like hundreds of players. We met with all them, all the marching band, all the extras, and like had like, I don't know, probably 4 to 6 hours with them. And Justin it was like at a rodeo arena, which was weird. And we sat, and watched them and gave them critiques. And then eventually we went down, Justin including, with all them, rehearsed with them on the field. You know, they were all freaking out. I remember it was a really cool experience. And we even like, I think Justin even had an idea of like, hey, why don't, if I loop around here, can some of you guys go with me? And like created a whole new thing that we didn't have choreographed with them, made them feel special, and ended up being really cool. But yeah, short answer is a lot of work, a lot of phone
A
calls
lot of
in
work.
those times. And I wish Zoom was around then. It would have made life a lot less traveling. I was
Yeah.
sick because of all the
Oh
travel
I
no.
bet.
on Super Bowl. Yeah, dancing sick, which was not fun. But yeah, I think that's one of the best performances too.
Yeah.
Like
I think
It was
so.
incredible.
it's live, you only get one take,
Yeah.
and
Do you get nervous before shows like that? Because, you know, a tour's different. If you make a little mistake, you can rectify it, and there's so many shows to do. But you know, you've got one chance to do this.
I think everybody's different, but not me. I get amped. I'm like
Yeah.
a talk shit kind of guy. Like even with sports,
That's
whatever, like even I'm like, let's do this. I'm the one trying to get people amped. Like, what are you doing? Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yelling at people, like,
Yeah.
let's, you know, and that, which isn't my persona. I'm very calm. But when it's time to dance, it's
The
time to dance.
the
Like,
adrenaline kicks in.
yeah. I mean, you know what's a fun fact about the Super Bowl though? It's not very exciting because when you're there, it's exciting to watch it, but it's not exciting when you're there because those 100,000 or however many are in that stadium are
But
football fans.
yeah.
They're not music fans. They're not dance fans. They're not this. They're like, they don't care. They want to go get stuff at halftime,
Yeah.
food and merch. So it's like, you know that you're performing for the people that's what I kept
At
telling
home.
the dancers. Like, if this is your first time doing it or your 100th time, like it's not going to be as big of a roar as you think it's going to be the whole time. Because
Yeah.
at a concert, it would be deafening because they paid to come and see you.
Mhm.
These people didn't come and pay to see Justin, much less you or me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's a different kind of feel.
And are they quite far away? I feel like the
Yeah.
audience
Yeah.
they're not like there's not a
Only
audience
except
on
for
the floor.
Yeah, only on the Crimea River thing we had those people be an audience, and then they split for us to do like the dance
Yeah.
break. So you get, but then when they split, then they're not close to you either. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally you're doing it for the camera. You're like,
Yeah.
you have to train yourself of like, I kept saying, I forget how many million watch it, but like, you're not doing
A
it for
lot.
100,000, you're doing it for 100 million. Like
Yeah.
that's what you're doing it for. So, but yeah, it's weird. You think it'd be all exhilarating, and it's really not. And it's over like this, and you're like, oh. And then we had to go to Jimmy Fallon
Straight after.
right afterwards in the snow. We literally didn't get to celebrate. We hopped in a van, just the girl dancers and myself, and go straight in the
Wow.
snowy weather to go do supplies, I think it was.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That was the
Crazy.
release.
Yeah.
It's just crazy times. And then I guess that takes us up to then tours and the various tours you've been involved in, Justin, and obviously the most recent one that we've all gone to see. And just how do you approach something like that? That must be just like the Super Bowl, something that's months in the planning.
Yeah, it depends. It's done very differently these days than back in the day. Like Justified was not a lot of time to put together, where it was, and that's why I believe like even Christina Aguilera, it was Justified Strip Tour, and
Yeah.
there's two headliners, so that's a whole nother even thing, to figure out. But I just remember it was like very truncated, very shortened version of what you would have for a tour normally, where this time we started planning. Baz Halpern directed the tour, and he started, I don't know, maybe a year out with he did all the one night only stuff too. So, which was nice because we kind of had a early start with all the promo stuff, where normally you do all the promo stuff and then tour is something totally different. This was all integrated. So it was kind of a build up to this. So we were having Zooms and seeing stage stuff, and like months and months ahead of time, just to, it's slow until like even at the Wiltern that day, we had like did sound check and then had like one of the most important tour meetings ever that day. I remember because everybody was in the same place at the same time that day, all the heads of department. And we sat there and we almost got a full set or an idea of a set list, which it didn't stay, of course, but at least to get a set list is the number one thing, because it's the tour isn't anything without the music being right. So but yeah, it's constant planning, and it's a lot of planning. And but this tour I think is probably, I don't want to say my favorite, but
My favorite.
it's
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's y'all's favorite. Well,
Yeah.
wait, what's y'all's favorite? Like,
This one.
This one.
This one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah,
this one.
same.
This is
one.
pretty
Yeah.
special, yeah.
For all of you, it's this one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this album,
Okay,
I think.
And this album,
what's-
Yeah.
yeah.
What about, so second favorite tour?
Future
2020?
Sex.
Ooh.
Future
Yeah,
Sex, I think.
it's either
2020.
Future Sex or 2020. Yeah.
Justified was obviously my first time seeing Justin live, so it's kind of special in that
That's the
sense.
thing.
Like,
Yeah,
for me,
early
it's
days.
Yeah.
it's got a special
Wait,
place.
how you're not old enough, Maggie, to be
I
seeing
definitely
Justified.
am. I'm old
No
enough
way.
I think I might have a filter on.
No.
Well,
Wow, you were there.
I just had my 40th birthday in October, so
Oh, so you were young.
I mean, no, it's like 19, 20. Justified
that's
was what
young.
year? 2004.
2002?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two.
2002.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, so I was
2 and 3. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. I was
Where'd you-
young, yeah,
well,
but
So you have nostalgic thing, but I mean overall, even I can separate myself. I think
Yeah.
2020 and Future Sex.
2020 for me.
yeah.
That bridge is everything.
Yeah, that was insane.
So cool.
Yeah.
When was the first
Yes.
time you when was the first time you heard about the monolith Blocky?
Oh God, a long time ago.
Oh, really?
I
Is it
heard
quite early on?
that word monolith like a billion times by now.
Oh,
And but when they kept first saying it, I was like, monolith. We didn't even get off the phone and like, because this is what we do. We have a Zoom like this, and then as soon as everybody says bye, then like Justin and I'll call each other and go, and then
Break
we'll
off Zoom.
debrief. And I'm like, "What's up, monolith? What's going? Hey, how are you doing, monolith?" Like that's all the word was being seen or said, and then all of a sudden, like we saw it, like we all saw a rendering of it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, and it looks cool, and like, but what can it do? And they're like, well, we're trying to figure that out. Then the next time I see it, well, we're trying to make it where it can float, okay, not just come out, but maybe go over the audience. Okay, well, can it flip? And then we go into creative meetings where at one point I wanted it to be used on Crimea River, and it to be all like, waves on the on Blocky, and it'd be over the audience. But if this is Blocky, if it was moving like, sorry, watch this. If it was moving like this over the audience, but he is walking like this.
Oh my
constantly.
God.
God.
You want to kill the man?
Yeah, no, not kill him, but I want it to be like, if you're gonna, they made this thing and they talked about it yet for us, like it was like 6-7 months by this point. So I'm like, and it's possible, but it would also take probably another month for him to get used to doing it and like to go through the rehearsal of doing it. Because even like what he does on Mirrors, like that's hurts him every day. Like that's hard. It's not fun.
it looks hard.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't feel good no matter who you are. Like it's almost harder because you're staying in place. So you know what I mean? Like if he's being slung around, that's more give on your body. Like or walking. Now he's probably rethinking that. But but yeah, but that's what goes into all these things, talking about Blocky for a year and like coming up with ideas of, can it happen this? Like, yes, but it's going to cost X amount of dollars because we're going to have to train for this long. Is it worth it? Maybe not, whatever. But I do remember the first time that I saw video of actually Blocky and him being lit up. And I was like,
Wow.
like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
it. And
yeah,
like,
He
that's
said
Yeah.
that he done like a little snippet of it before the tour started.
yeah.
I don't know. It was only a few days before, right? The first Vancouver show. I think he done like a little
Yeah. And I got
montage
mad. I
backstage.
was mad. I was like, why'd you do that? You
going
know, like,
No,
deep.
but literally, it stopped us in our tracks, and we all were just like, "What the fuck did we just see? Like, what
Yeah.
even is that?"
yeah. It's
We
smart
got
looking
so
back at it.
hyped. Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, it's a crazy piece of technology, and it weighs as much as 2 Teslas. That's how much it weighs.
Wow.
don't know.
Yeah,
I'm glad we didn't know that before we were underneath it. Because
No,
Marty,
yeah.
looking up
but
at it, we were a bit.
but the cables that hold it, that's like,
Mm.
I don't know, 4,000 pounds or something. The
Okay.
cables that hold it can hold up to 280,000 pounds.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Okay,
So
okay.
you're
We have
in,
the whole audience on it.
Yeah,
We were safe.
yeah, so you are good.
yeah. How does he
Yeah.
get up? How does he get up before it comes out? Is he lifted up?
No, he's put into his harness like this,
Yeah.
and then he goes sideways, and then it's lifted up. And then, if that makes
But
sense. Like
doesn't he
he
start
put
at the top of it? Oh, he starts at the
no,
bottom.
No,
Oh,
he starts at
okay.
the
Oh, he starts at the
bottom.
bottom. Okay.
Yeah, so he goes like this, and then this, and then it
This
starts
gets
going,
lifted.
and then he has to
Right,
walk.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a lot of planning and a lot of doing this, by the way, like what I was just doing. Like
Yeah.
we had like a small blocky putting the show together, and Baz would carry it everywhere, like in his pocket, and we'd be in catering eating lunch, and he'd go, here, like, here you go. So this is Blocky. So Justin, you're on this and this and this. And it's pretty funny. But it was before Blocky had a name. It was just the monolith, the monolith, the monolith.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you all
I
call
like
it
that.
Blocky now? Do you all say Blocky?
I don't. I still call it the monolith. But
Okay.
like, I'm sure, actually, I think probably everybody calls it monolith now. It's only because we were brainwashed into saying that. Like, fans know about Blocky, but it was because we were told so many times about this thing.
Mole.
Yeah, that's brilliant. With regards to the tour, we have to say we love the dancers. They are just
Oh,
not
good.
only honestly, like not only are they just so super talented, but they're just such lovely people. And we had the pleasure of meeting them when you guys were then when they came over here. And honestly,
good.
you couldn't have picked a bunch of better people to, I think, come and represent Justin on this tour and really get into the spirit of it and really embrace us, the fans, and our craziness. And they always had time for the fans. And so we're just to kind of feed that back, but also to say, you know, what a fantastic bunch of dancers. And I know some of them have been around for a while and so many. How do you go about, by the way, picking the dancers?
It's like an ongoing audition, I would say. Like my class is an ongoing audition. And plus the dance world is so small now, especially with social media, that I know who all the hot people are, who all the up and coming people are. A lot of these people, like Jake, who's on tour now, I taught since he was like 12. Madison, I'd met briefly when she was around the same age, but I knew of her growing up. Who else? Kelsey is another one on this tour that I've known for a long time. It comes through different ways. Maya got involved with Justin because she auditioned like 5 times for the Filthy video on the last project. Wow. She was actually in that video. You never know because they all look the same. But yeah, it's different ways, but it's kind of like just through the dance world and through my class. Like I always say, like life is an audition. So, but I also say it's about. I'm glad you guys gave them a thumbs up because it's about the people they are for the humans they are first. Like there's a bunch of badass dancers I can hire, but to go on tour and be together and and be someone representing JT who's not a friend of mine but a brother to me, then I don't want that shit coming back to haunt me. So it comes down to not just how talented they are, not just how they look. It's about their being a good person first. So like and I've been fooled a little bit here and there, and you know, people know the right answers or this and that. But like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to blow people up, but like, there's people that I interview more so than I don't interview because I just know, like, or have more questions than other people. But yeah, I think we got a great group this time. Even our swings are incredible, and you know, I always try to keep over. One thing I've noticed, this is something I took from Tina Landon and Janet, was you should always carry over a couple people. So on every tour, from Justify, there was a carryover. From Future Sex, each one there's been a carryover of dancers, and it's never changed because I think you have to have that veteran voice and somebody who's been there and somebody that the artist is cool with, you know, like away from work, you know, when you're hanging out and stuff. Don't want just a bunch of newbies that don't know him and maybe they fooled me and they're all, you know, gonna do the wrong thing at the same time. You know, if I have a veteran there, they can stop that from happening.
Yeah.
So
no, they're amazing. I sometimes don't even look at Justin anymore. I just like watch that.
yeah, I hear that, especially from people, dance lovers. Like they're like, "Oh, Justin's great, but man, the dancers."
Yeah.
We'll be like,
shit.
Justin's there. I was like, no, I'm watching them here. Like,
Yeah,
it's fun. So definitely it's good to go a few times so you can pay attention to all the different things going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and even getting seats on different side of the stage
Yeah.
because like you get the Tennessee Kids singers at the one stage, you've got the dancers going on the other stage. So
Yeah.
we always had a B stage ticket, didn't we? But we always had left or right or center of the front of the stage as well, just so we got the whole experience really.
sure. Yeah. And we try. I think we do a pretty good job about spacing everything out.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
try to give you a little bit of everybody at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them though, man.
It's
A lot of
perfect.
Tennessee kids now. Shit.
But it's perfect the way it's done. Even the band members when they do that walk with their instruments,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
so special, so special.
Oh, thank you.
I
That
love
means a lot.
every single bit.
Yeah. I love Let the Groove Get In when they all come forward with their instruments and they do a
Oh,
little.
yeah, I love that bit.
Yeah, I love
Kevin,
that
our
routine.
tuba player.
Oh, I love
Kevin.
Kevin.
Yes, we love him.
Kevin's so
Oh.
good.
He's you know he's like he can only see out of one eye and
Yeah.
not even that well. And that dude, I'm
He's so
never
good.
ever afraid of him falling off the stage. I'm afraid of other people, but not him. He's the most professional,
And
most
he's
on
always
guy.
like so happy.
Oh,
He's always
yeah.
like good spirits, getting everyone going.
Yeah. And we actually met
Oh.
a lot of them quite like one-to-one because we went to the Adam Blackstone Legacy event that
yeah.
he'd done here in London. So then we were kind of mingling after, and they're all such nice people.
Yeah.
But also amazingly talented. Like to watch them that intimate. I mean, the venue was tiny that we had this Legacy event,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was so cool to hear them live
Even
and the
had,
singers.
You know, when we had me and Maggie, we brought Tennessee Kids signs. So Justin
Oh,
was
yeah.
looking at us and he was like, are you guys singing this? And he was looking at like the back singers of the band and he was like, are you guys singing this?
Yeah.
He was like, sorry, it's not for you, it's for them all.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, he was really happy about that, like the love we're giving them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Exactly. And of course then there is the summer coming up now this
Yes.
year with the
What
fashion
can you tell
tours
us?
later this
Ah.
year. Yeah.
Well, I already said it on Instagram Live, so there's no dancers.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Oh, yeah.
that's all I can tell you. It's going to be a
Okay.
great show.
Oh.
No, it will not. I can say it'll definitely not be the same set list.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll
Okay.
be
It's all-
short. It's going to be shorter, right? Because there's other artists performing. Is it going to be shorter or?
I know all of them. There's
Well,
some shows that he's solo.
Yeah, Chelmsford, it's just JT.
Yeah, and
The-
Lytham is just JT, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So it might vary some, depend on the
Yeah,
festival.
I think it's going to vary. We've only had 2 meetings about it so far, so I actually don't know much. But except that the dancer thing. But Oh, and actually I've had 3 meetings because I had one in Dallas that I didn't know I was going to have, but we had it because I was in town. So I do maybe know what the stage is going to look like, but I won't spoil that. But
Okay,
again, it can only look so different because they're festival shows. So,
Yeah.
but we're trying to make it a little bit more special, so it's not just blah. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to do something. So
Yeah.
that was our
Oh.
Dallas meeting, but we're definitely, there's so many songs that we couldn't do in this show because now there's just too many songs. So we have to get some of those songs in there.
What
Yes.
one would you like
Can
to
we
have?
send a request in?
What Lovers Do,
Yeah.
Strawberry Bubblegum,
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yes.
Paradise maybe.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
With or without everybody. Who knows?
No, I know, because
We'll take with.
you know, Ramon,
We vote with.
Kimry, and Blakely, they've been rehearsing Paradise, so
Well, there you go. See, yeah. So you never know. But I want new songs in there. You know, you have to have some of the classics.
yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing is like what you're going to open with and what you're going to close with. That's the biggest thing. So
I would like some more from Man of the Woods, because I think the Man of the Woods songs are really neglected, underrated and neglected, and I'd love to have more of that live.
Do you have a specific?
Yeah.
What would you want?
Higher, higher. Oh my God, that is so
Higher
good.
is good. Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
I loved it in the show, like, you know, when he comes out with the guitarists and everything. It's just like, it's such a cool tune. That would be great.
Maybe it could be like a medley.
Yeah, that's the things we're gonna have to keep doing over these, you know, next however many decades he goes is mashups, you know, or medleys of, you know, 3 or 4 song medleys. But what's funny is sometimes it starts off like that and then they just keep getting longer and longer because like
He loves a long song.
20 songs medley.
Yeah, so I mean, his song, like one of his normal 7-minute songs is already a 2-song medley.
Yeah.
You know, so but yeah, I think higher, that's a good one. I'll remember that for sure.
TKO.
Oh yeah, TKO.
I missed that live so much.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh,
yeah, TKO's a good one. TKO's a good one. It's, you know, what's interesting in certain, you know, regions or whatever. Like I remember we did Rock in Rio and TKO was like the #1 song there.
They requested, didn't they?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then so we did it and it went crazy. It was wild. Like
you definitely got to do that in Brazil, in South America. That so big in South America.
Yeah. So we're trying to be smart about I know there's a set list in the works, but it's still way too early.
Yeah.
You probably won't be able to say. Yeah, we've got our tickets, but I know you probably can't say. But is the dates all the dates now, or do you think there could be more? We need to plan.
That I actually have no clue. I won't even BS.
I'm not a tour manager.
Well, no. I'm not a promoter. I'm not AEG. I'm not Live Nation. Yeah. No. I honestly have no idea. You know what? I don't even know when the first show is. How about that?
The ones in South America are the first festival shows.
What month are they in? February or March?
March, yeah.
Okay. See, y'all know more than me.
Yeah. And then he doesn't come back here until July. Right?
Wow.
End of May, Seville is the first European show.
Which one?
In Spain, Seville.
Oh, Spain, Seville, yeah.
34 May. That's the first Europe date.
All right, yeah. Well, hopefully I'll be able to see all you guys.
Oh, please come.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be at all of them, but I'll definitely be at a lot of them.
Okay.
Come to the UK.
Yeah, come to Chelmsford. Sunny Chelmsford.
Yeah.
And then give Tamara a lift back up to Lytham because she's got to
There you go.
She's got to travel.
It's so far one from the other.
Oh, I love it.
No, I'm joking. Yeah.
Well, listen, Marty, we're nearly running out of time with you, and
I know,
we've kept you
we've kept you for so long. I don't know if we have any more time with you.
Oh my God, I didn't even look at the time.
You're having so
Oh my
much
God.
fun.
Hope you're not
It's
late.
okay. I know I can yap. It's me. It's not y'all. It's me. Trust me.
Okay, that's
I
all
love
right.
it.
Do you have time for a little game before you go?
Absolutely. Let's go.
All
I
right.
love this.
Yay!
Tomorrow,
Wait, before you do your game, hold on. I want to screenshot this. So, okay. I want to, yep,
Oh.
just for my records. There we go.
Oh
Oh
God.
gosh. Oh God, what
Another
record?
screenshot.
Yeah.
Screenshot.
Yeah.
Marty, how many screenshots do you
Yeah.
have in your phone reel?
Oh, a lot. In my phone in general?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as many as you probably think, but
Do you
I
delete
definitely
them?
no, because
You look at
I
them.
only take them because it's normally to remind me to do
Yeah.
something or to look something up, or it's like a reminder thing.
Yeah. Do you actually go back then and look at them? Because I take screenshots all the time and
never
then I
look
just
back.
I
No.
never
I
look
look
back.
back. Oh, I look back all the time. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's otherwise I wouldn't get anything done because those
No.
are my reminders.
That's your
Yeah.
calendar.
To-do list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this game is actually Tamara who's going to explain how it works.
Well, it's only a quick this or that, so just whatever comes to your mind first.
Okay.
Just this or that. Just
You
pick
look
one.
scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
No, it's
It's
no,
easy.
It's a nice fun.
Okay.
Easy fun. Right, you ready?
Hmm.
Okay. London or New York?
I just have to pick either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Oh.
prefer?
Oh,
It's gotta be
London.
quick.
London.
London, yeah.
Right answer.
Correct.
That's not just because of you guys, I promise you. Yeah.
In and Out or Pizza Express?
In and out.
Duh.
Yeah. I'd
We
go
got
with that as well.
But
Yeah.
Pizza Express is my jam though.
Yeah.
The
dough
butter. The dough balls.
Yeah, the butter. Of
Yeah.
course. Did you go to Nando's as well?
Oh, of course. Come on.
Yeah, Nando's
Just
is
say
good.
Nando's or Pizza Express. Should we change that?
Pizza Express.
Okay.
Still
There we go.
The dough balls win.
All right. So Super Bowl or awards shows?
Award shows.
Dance class or dance conferences?
Dance class.
Yeah.
A day out playing cornhole or golf?
Cornhole now.
Yeah.
At this time of my life.
Because you get good.
The cornhole goes with Marty, whatever he goes.
What's that?
The cornhole goes with you, wherever you go.
Oh, yeah, it came to
Yes.
tour, didn't it? It was on
Yeah,
tour.
it did.
Yeah. What would you rather choreograph? A tour or music video?
Tour.
Tour.
Yeah.
Justified or 2020 experience?
Justified.
And that was it.
Oh,
Actually, no.
good.
No, 2020.
But
You mean,
We're
is it-
talking music,
is it-
tour, or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's just more of it. So I would
In
choose because
general.
there's more music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
all of it.
That's
2020
hard.
is such a good album, though.
But Justified is good too.
I mean, they're all good, though,
that's
isn't
too
it? We
I
can't
love
pick.
it.
We can't
Right,
pick
so
a
I'm gonna
favorite.
just add a bonus question. From the current tour, current set list, what song would you bin and what song would you put it in?
Yeah, good question.
Technicolor out and what lovers do in.
That's a fair.
I think a lot of people have said that swap, to be fair. I love
And it-
Technicolor.
And it's because of I love Technicolor too. I love the number. I love the song. It's one of my favorite songs on the whole album. But as a number on stage, I'd rather switch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Can we make a suggestion as well? Because
Mhm.
the Chelmsford show is on the 4th of July.
Can we have
and-
love?
And all that. No, yeah. Can we have Love or What? And can we have Firework? Even though we don't.
I'm pretty
outdoors.
sure of will happen if it's on the 4th of July. That's gonna happen.
Come on, yeah.
It's
I
not
mean, I know
Firework.
we don't celebrate it here, but we'll celebrate it for JT.
he'll celebrate it just because it's that day period. So and I'm
Oh,
pretty
that'll
sure
be-
he did Love and War on the 4th of July this time.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
And if the boys do show up and to sing Paradise and it's on the same day, then maybe we could have the Super Bowl that they did together with Aerosmith. We can have the finger pyros. Let's bring
Oh
back
my
those
God, I
fireworks.
love those. Those things were dope.
Let's bring that back.
Yeah, I actually joked about that recently. I think while we were doing, or maybe it was when we were doing the Super Bowl. I was like, we got to bring those things back.
Yeah.
That
Are
thing
they
was
not
cool.
dangerous?
Health and safety
They're
is
really
probably a bit
dangerous.
stricter now.
Yeah, it's really dangerous. And for the record, I had nothing to do with the Janet Justin Super Bowl.
Oh,
I had
God.
nothing to do with it. I was there as his friend, but I was not working, so I have nothing to do with it.
We
Okay.
believe you.
Yeah.
Out of the room.
Have one last question. Your
Yeah.
hoodies, we've seen all of the crew have them. Where did they come from? We love them.
It's just like a little special edition guy. Says Not Ruined on here.
Ah.
Oh, I
cool.
love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I got it
really
when I
good.
was in Dallas. Luke, our production manager, he gave me one.
Oh, it's so cool that everyone's got one, and it's personalized, right, for each person with their own little.
Yeah, it's all.
It's so cool. Have you got a personalized?
Forget Tomorrow. Not Ruined.
Yeah.
Some of the lyrics to No Angels.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
We should tell them to put that on the merch stand. We'll all buy one.
We'll buy one.
I think
Buy
they're
anything.
very, very, very expensive though.
Yeah,
'cause
I can
whoever
imagine it's
made
all embroidered.
Yeah, it's like $500 a pop, I think, like to make. So what they would sell it for, I think it would be.
Yeah.
We pay that in
Spend
shipping.
on tickets.
Yeah, it's like a ticket. They were I don't know who it is, the maker, but like even it's like this thing is gonna like somebody could tackle me and I'd be okay in it. Like it's very
good quality,
like well made.
Yeah. Oh, we love it.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for finally having me on. Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
for
thank you for coming
coming
on.
on.
A whole bunch.
No,
Really good.
honestly, we've had the best time, and like we said earlier, we've loved the experience last year of the tour and seeing everything that played such a vital and pivotal role in creating. So thank you for your lives and for always engaging with us and supporting us. Honestly, we feel so involved, and we really appreciate you coming on today.
My pleasure. Yeah, keep supporting you guys, and I'll tell JT all these nuggets that you guys gave me too, so we can try to get some of these songs into the set list.
Oh, amazing.
I'd love it.
All right.
All right.
Thank
You
you so
guys
much.
have a good day.
Great.
Later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Girls, stay online.
Thanks for tuning in to the NSYNC UK Space Cowboys podcast. If you loved this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you'll never miss a moment of the action. And did you know you can also stream every episode the second it drops on your favourite music or podcast platform? It's that easy to stay in sync with us. And while you're at it, check out our Instagram page for all the latest NSYNC news, reaction, and announcements of upcoming episodes. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.